Jeremy TV.
Hey, Jeremy here. I wanted to give you a quick update on the channel and let you know of a minor change that I've decided to make. But I wanted to let you know that even though I said when I started this channel I was going to try to post weekly at the very least, if not more often, I did that for quite a while, but it's been 5 or 6 weeks since I've posted. And I wanted to let you know what was going on. Nothing earth-shattering. It's just been a crazy busy summer. Work has been insanely busy since I came back from vacation. The drone photography business has been very busy until about the last 3 weeks or so. It's finally slowed down. We've had some personal stuff going on that's kept me busier with things around the house than normal. And so the bulk of mowing has fallen on me this year. And I hate mowing. I've been mowing since I've been big enough to push a lawnmower, and I hate it. I really despise it. It's one of the many reasons that I hate summer. But I've also been busy with brush hogging, and while that does feature the tractor, I don't think anybody really wants to watch 6 consecutive videos of me brush hogging my pasture. So I didn't record any of that. I certainly won't record myself mowing. I mean, I might as well record myself doing laundry or doing dishes for all that matters. That's what I think of mowing, is just a pain in the ass chore that has to be done all the time. So it's been a really hot summer so far, and we've had days over 100, many days over 100 this year, which it had been a couple of years, I think, since we'd had that. But it's not really unusual for Oklahoma, especially southern part. We had a few days there in a row that were like 108, 110. But I recorded some footage the other day at the place, kind of walking around the place, showing you some of the projects that I know I have coming up. And I was testing out a new microphone that I bought to help with the speaking part of the audio on these videos. I know that it has been lacking. My camera is a great camera, but the audio does not pick up well for spoken word. So I bought a little microphone, and I had plugged it into the camera incorrectly to begin with, and that audio for that introduction was lost. So I will, that's why I'm doing this introduction today. I'm going to make a minor change to the channel. I don't know that most of you will even notice it, but if you are here because you like the drone stuff, you might want to go over to my other channel. I have a YouTube channel for my drone photography business. It's called Red River Drone Photography. And I have decided, after much thought and consideration, to move most of my drone related stuff over to that channel, because I feel like probably most people are here for the same reason I subscribe to a lot of channels. They like the outdoor stuff. That's what I tend to focus more on anyway. I'm going to continue doing the work vlogs, the work trip vlogs, because I think that's a neat sidebar every once in a while to that part of my life. And if you don't think so, that's fine. You don't have to watch it. But and I may not document every trip. I mean, I've taken several trips recently that I've not documented at all. But I do want to move that drone stuff over to Red River Drone Photography channel. I just think that there are some people that watch the one drone video that I did was my second most watched video on this channel. And I think that there are a lot of people who are here for that. And if you are, certainly feel free to stick around. I'm not saying that I'll never do drone stuff on this channel, because I think I will, but I don't know that I'll do as much as I had maybe previously thought. I'll go ahead and show you now what projects I've got around the place. That was recorded a few days ago there at the place, and I just kind of walked around showing you the things that I need to do, and I'll go ahead and show you that part of the video now.
So, one of the first projects I need to get done when things cool down a little bit, or maybe even before, I don't know if they're going anywhere anytime soon, but you can see now that tree is dead because all his buddies next to him have leaves and he does not. So I suspected it last year, but now it's confirmed. It's dead and it needs to come down because it's right there by the fence. One of my earlier videos, and I'll put the link to that here, I talked about this tree and the fact that it needed to come down. So that's going to make a lot of firewood. It's going to make some brush to add to the brush pile. But that thing's dead and needs to go. Look at that. I don't know if you can see. It's got like a gross fungus or something growing out of it. Try to zoom in on it there. I mean, that's just nasty. It's like a rubbery fungus growing out of the side of that dead tree. But anyway, it's dead. And then he's got a buddy down here further down the fence that's dead too. So this one is even bigger than that other one. And it's dead. I mean, it's clear. It's got no leaves on it. And it's been shedding limbs pretty steadily. But it definitely needs to come down. Alright, so coming up here is another project. This one I'd really like to get done. This is next to the driveway, of course, as you can see. And that actually, where that water is standing, used to be the driveway before we moved the gate over a little bit. But when we were building the house, the concrete trucks came through there and rutted that out real bad. So we moved the driveway over, and I have over time filled it with dirt and leveled it out, and it looks a lot better. But water still stands right here. So what I'm thinking about doing is taking the box blade and running right down through there, setting it at an angle, and just making a little furrow right there, and then running it the other way and making a small ditch, no deeper than a foot deep, to where water, instead of standing in this area, can run that way to the natural low spot. Now you can tell it, you might be able to tell it's uphill a little bit, so I'll have to dig it right in order to get the water to run that way. But even if it's not perfect, even if it just gets it better, that would be great. But it stands real bad right here. That's another low spot. And I mean, it'll stand there a long time, and of course that's a mosquito trap, and I don't want that happening. So my plan, in addition to doing that ditch, is to get down to here to this spot, and this is where the water crosses the driveway on its own, is to dig that out and lay a pipe underneath as a kind of a culvert, cover it back up with gravel, and let the water run from there underneath instead of over the top into that low spot. And then it naturally flows right up through that way. But I'd like to get that done this year. Although, you know, it seems like it's probably a good winter project, but I may wait until spring so the grass will come up and the dirt won't wash out over the winter when there's no grass growing. So we'll just have to see on the timing on that. Another project is somewhere right about in this area. I'm going to need to put another keypad for the gate opener. I've got a gate opener out there. It's a Mighty Mule, and I love it. We've had it in since February, I think, and I love it. We actually did the project right before I started putting videos on this channel, so I didn't document it. I was going to. It was kind of cold and rainy that day, so we were just in a hurry to get it done. But I love the gate, but we need an inside keypad like the one on the outside there. It won't be a huge project, just be digging a hole and sticking a keypad in and programming it, but I'd like to get it done this winter. And at the same time as I do the keypad, I'd like to do a review of the gate opener. But there's the outside keypad, and then add one for the inside. But I'd like to do a review of the gate opener because I like it. There's a lot of things I like about it, some things I don't. But I'd like to cover that in a review because honestly, I didn't see any good reviews of this particular gate opener on YouTube. So my plan is to do one of those. So there's two projects. And then now I'm down in the northeast corner of my property, and this is very heavily wooded, as you can see, and it's got a lot of undergrowth. This giant oak tree is probably 60 feet tall, 70 feet tall, and it's bigger around than I can get my arms around. It's a really neat old tree. I wish it could talk, tell some stories of the things that it's seen. But I don't know that it'll get done this winter. At some point in the winter, I would like to come out and clean all this undergrowth out. It really needs a good fire to burn through, but I would not want to harm that big oak tree, so I'm not going to burn it myself. But it would not be a tragedy if a fire burned through here and cleared out a bunch of this crap, because it's bad. It's undergrowth. I mean, it's old dead stuff on the ground, a lot of briars and junk. And in the winter, in vines, you can probably see vines hanging out of the tree there. A lot of the trees have got vines hanging out of them. There's all kinds of crap growing everywhere in there, and I'd like to just roast it all, but I won't. But I can get a tractor in there and a chainsaw, and I can do some damage over a winter when I don't have to worry about poison ivy and snakes as much. That's going to be a big project. That's going to be a lot of work. And at some point, I'd like to get over there on that. That's the east side. Same problem. Very heavily wooded. Can't even really get a tractor to much of it. In fact, I've never had the tractor in there or in here. Well, I've had it up under that big oak, but I've never had it over in this area. So I'd like to clean that east side out too, but I'm torn on it because it's a good cover and it kind of gives you some privacy, so I don't know how thin I would like to make it. This is probably a project I'm going to do this year. This dirt mound is large. It's probably 2 dump trucks full of dirt. And that came from right there. Last year, my dad and I burned a brush pile that covers really that area right there. And it was not as dense a brush pile as what you see there, but it was a lot of brush. I mean, we had cut down lots and lots of trees when we were cleaning this place up right after we bought it. And so my dad and I burned that brush pile. And then what was left over was, I think, dirt from trees that had been pushed down. And I took a box blade and did a lot of work in here, but a lot of that dirt ended up right there. I piled it up with the front end loader. Seemed like a good idea at the time. I thought maybe I would use it over time, but I've not used much of it at all. It's kind of a pain in the ass to use because it's got a bunch of junk in it. So what I think I've decided to do is this winter come in with a front end loader and bust it all up, loosen it all up, bring it this way, and then take the box blade and just spread it out over this section of land. So that's another project, is to get rid of that big pile of dirt. And the brush pile itself, that is another project that needs to be done. I'm not in a rush to do it. I would like to get it done. Actually, this past weekend would have been perfect because of this rain we've gotten this week, but I didn't. So, even though it's summer and most things are green, we were really dry, and I think if a fire had started and some embers had got loose, we could have burned down the county, and I sure don't want to do that. So I left it. I'm not in a hurry. I've got plenty of space here I can add to it, and someday I'll get a chance to burn it. But it's pretty dense. I think if you poured a little bit of diesel on it and threw a match, it'd probably burn the whole thing down. Not today because it's soggy, but I'll get it sometime. And then when I get it done, I'll document it too.
Alright, so if you liked this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up for me. That does help. If you like the kind of things that we do on this channel, go ahead and click the subscribe button. And if you would like immediate notifications of uploads, click the little bell icon next to the subscribe button. Or if you have any questions, comments, or just want to check in where you're watching from, drop that in the comment section right down below. Thanks for being here. I hope to see you soon.